Hello, in chapter 4, we're going to talk about texture and pattern in art. And texture is one of my favorite things to use when I'm creating art. Texture can be anything from a shiny texture on a stainless steel refrigerator to the wood grain texture on a wood cabinet like the one behind me. And texture really catches your eye, and it can be apparent in a photograph or a drawing or a painting. And you'll start to look around you and take notice of smooth textures and rough textures after you study this chapter. You'll hear me talk about a lot about repetition of pattern, and I'll mention it a lot in our discussions, because repetition of pattern is something that makes our eyes move through a piece of art. It'll make us it'll almost give a piece of art movement as we repeat pattern through art. I want you to pay attention to the PowerPoint because it talks a lot about pattern, and it's very interesting. Once you study a little about pattern, you'll also start to notice the repetition of maybe even birds flying in the sky or something like that as repetition of pattern to make your eye move through it. And I want to talk to you about our assignment this week. And in this assignment, I've asked you to take a regular piece of printer paper like this. And I'm sorry, my camera is reversed, so I have a little bit of trouble with it. You will fold your paper in half. You'll fold that in half again. You'll fold it in half again until you have 16 squares. So you're going to take one piece of paper and make it into 16 squares. And then in each of the 16 squares, you're going to make an example of all the various principles and elements of art that we've studied so far. And you'll have like a line, an example of an implied line. You'll have an example of using high and low value in a picture. You'll have an example of texture. You'll have an example of repetition of pattern. So you'll have 16 examples. They're all in our textbook. I've included a photograph of an example of how you would do the assignment on our online classroom. So if you have any trouble with it or you have any trouble understanding it, just give me a call, give me an email, give me a text, and I'll explain it to you further. It'll be just kind of a fun little assignment. All you have to do is get your pencil out and draw a little bit. If you don't want to draw, you can cut out pictures from a magazine for the examples of these. I'm looking forward to see what you do because I like to see what my students do and how creative they can be with this assignment. Good luck.